Hey guys, what's going on? Today I want to show you my template for working with the UF8 and the UC1. It is fairly simple. I am working with 3 screens, not too big actually, center monitor and 2 smaller monitors left to right where I'm putting either the buses or plugins, so things don't always overlay and compound each other, but not needed at all. You can flip through windows. I mean, all that can be done very easily. So first of all, the first thing that is in my template is that SSL native channel strip 2, that's a handful, is inserted on each track. And it's inserted in slot number 1. So what that means, first of all, just to double check, slot number 1 means this here, right? So if you are in the UF8, you'll see this here, slot number 1, slot number 1, slot number 1, and it'll all say SSL native channel strip. And you can actually call that up very easily by pressing down on it, and then you have all these controls. But that's not how I'm working. I'm working with this guy here. So if I, let's say, select track, let's just say, let me get out of the window. So we are here between 1 and 23. If I press here, I can scroll through the tracks, right? It shows me which ones are selected. Look at the bottom here. This green strip shows me which bank of 8 is represented right here. That's, some people overlook that. At least in Logic, you have the option of coloring that, so it becomes more noticeable. It's kind of a thin strip. I wish they could make it a bit bigger, but each DAW does that slightly differently. Anyways, so I am in the DAW. I happen to be on track number 1, right? And then I want to navigate all the way over to 28, right? Right here, it gives me 28, 29, 30, 31. So let me hit 28. I select that. What happens is arrange window, track window, all of that jumps immediately. Let me actually, I have 2 windows open here. So, but that would be my center monitor. It jumps here on the center monitor as well. Good thing I use also these here to navigate back and forth. So it absolutely works. I want to jump back. Yep, see that? No problem getting to my channel strip here. And if you don't see this because this is small, this reads audio 12. It reads audio 12 on the screen, and I'm pressing audio 12. So they are all linked. What happens if I click on it with the mouse? Well, 14, 19, and the same thing, it follows right here. All right, let me show you this on the SSL software, which I have on a separate monitor. It is the same thing. We're following nicely here, right? Here we go. So the way I set this up is straightforward. I do my fine edits with this here, staying in the 360 to really stay in the zone with the UC1. So don't have to, I'm really thinking, okay, I got my 2 hands on the mixer and I'm working through the mixer, through a console, if you will. And don't worry so much what's going on in the recorder being Logic or the DAW. So for those who say, does the plugin pop up? Yeah, it does pop up. It's on my right screen. Minimize it. I can close it if I want to. It has absolutely no impact on the functionality. So native channel strip 2, the strip is on audio 1 to 32. If I want more tracks, I can just add them, and SSL 360 will build just a larger mixer. So that allows me to be really in the zone when a project comes in, slap that onto that template, and I can start working and feeling the music. For being surgical, inserting, a Pro Q3, other plugins, that's awesome, and I like doing that as well. So my template, and that's why my template would be different from yours, you can put other plugins here already from the get-go. So it could be another compressor that works on most materials. Let's just say something that's a little bit slower because we already have the bus, the strip compressor enabled. All right, so let's say I would be playing with the ratio right here, and I would be playing with the gain right here. That would be a possibility. They don't even have to be of the same channel. They could be different parts. The one could be the voice, the other one could be the guitar. Point is, you can use both of your hands at the same time and get creative. This is a very simple template. I can't stress this enough. You don't have to do the effects that are down here. It's basically just 3 delays and 3 reverbs set up, ready to go, and I have them in my effects buses, right? What I also do have is drums, bass, electric guitar, acoustic, keys, horns, strings, instruments, vocals, background vocals as buses, and each of those are getting this guy here, SSL Native Bus Compressor 2. So cool thing with that, it shows up here on the UC1. So that means it shows up in the 360 software as well, and I can scroll through these. And so basically scrolling here determines what is being shown on the physical meter here. If I want the stereo bus, it'll be that. If I want the drums, it'll be that. So that is a pretty simple template. That's how you can leverage this UC1 here very quickly between the bus compressor and the channel strip. You multiply that on every track or every bus you put that on. Also, of course, the solo and the cut and all of that works if you put it on every single channel. If you put channel strip 2 on your buses, make sure you enable solo safe on those plugins, because if you solo a track in there and it's routed also to an FX bus, you will still hear those effects. Recommending, I can't stress this enough, fairly simple plugins. If you do want to control the plugins from here, put plugins on that are not super complicated. So for example, on the drums bus, I would not recommend working on UF8 on an F6 RTA or like a Pro Q3. This is much quicker with the mouse, of course. So whatever floats your boat, but choose something that kind of makes sense with the amount of controls that you have. So the other template that I have a little bit built in, and that's more like to do with the SSL software, is these here. These I leave standard, but on my second soft keys page, I built it so this would be play, this would be record, that standard cycle, but then I have a back loop and a forward loop. Let me show you what that means. So if I have a loop here, I want to move that by the same amount backward and forward, I can do that. If I would have something with my marquee that I would select and then hit marquee, it would play from wherever that highlighted situation was happening. So if I would highlight here around 17, it would play. If I hit marquee play, it would play from 17. That's me. I also have a play lock, play location. So if I'm editing a region and I hit play lock, it would play from right there. The way you set this up is in the SSL software again. So any shortcut that you like in your DAW, put it in there. So for example, on the third page, I set up Marco 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are fairly simple commands here. So that wraps it up. If you build your template, think about, hey, what will I be needing most likely on pretty much every track that gives me a good starting point? Well, number one, working with UC1, that's for sure. That's the SSL native channel strip 2, the strip. And then as a second plugin, the second slot, you can leave that completely empty. If you find yourself using something very often, well, you could put that in. You could use other plugins that are doing a specific task that you keep using every single time. Put that on there. You can always take it off. It starts your session pretty quickly. And if your session uses a lot of buses and they are always the same and you like to use templates, build that into your template. Add the bus compressor on it. You'll thank me later. Works really well. You can always turn on, turn off here. That would be a simple DAW UF8 UC1 starter template. Enjoy.